we are seeing a massive clash right now between the bleeding edge of AI innovation and the heavy hand of government regulation. OpenAI is officially limiting the massive release of its newest, most highly anticipated AI models to a very small, tightly controlled group of trusted partners, and they are doing it directly at the behest of the US government. The company dropped this massive bombshell on Friday. To give you some context, the highly anticipated next-generation GPT 5.6 lineup officially includes Sol, which is their absolute flagship powerhouse model, Terra, which serves as a highly balanced model perfectly designed for everyday use, and Luna, which is their incredibly fast, much lower-cost option for developers. Although Sol is widely considered the company's most insanely powerful model to date, the Trump administration has aggressively stepped in and restricted the public release of all three versions. OpenAI explicitly stated that this extremely limited preview is strictly confined to specific partners whose participation has been completely shared with and vetted by the government. This massive administration request comes right as the US government puts unprecedented new pressure on leading AI companies to heavily restrict their most advanced, potentially dangerous systems. We saw this exact same playbook just recently. After Anthropic released its most powerful public model, Fable 5, the administration immediately ordered the company to aggressively remove access for literally any foreign national, which ultimately prompted Anthropic to just take the entire model down completely rather than deal with the impossible logistics. This massive incident has brought up incredibly deep questions about exactly how much raw power the federal government should actually have over private AI model releases. Dean Ball, who is a former White House AI advisor and interestingly a soon-to-be OpenAI employee, pointed out that President Trump's recent highly controversial executive order has fundamentally changed the game. That order basically asks certain top-tier AI companies to voluntarily submit their absolutely most advanced frontier models for rigorous government review up to 30 days before any planned public release. Ball argues that this has effectively created a de facto involuntary licensing regime for all frontier AI, directly leading to these incredibly heavy-handed restrictions we are seeing right now. The problem massively compounds, according to Ball, when the government does not even have clearly defined, scientifically backed safety standards in place. This messy lack of clarity could easily lead to endless, agonizing launch delays that might not only give a massive strategic hand to China in the global AI race, but also seriously jeopardize the billions of dollars currently pouring into massive AI infrastructure buildouts. And while OpenAI totally complied and did exactly as the administration asked this time around, the AI giant made it incredibly clear that they were absolutely not happy with this forced arrangement. In a very pointed blog post on Friday, they wrote that they absolutely do not believe this kind of heavy-handed government access process should ever become the long-term default. They passionately argued that this extreme level of gatekeeping keeps the absolute best tools completely away from the regular users, the innovative developers, the massive enterprises, the vital cyber defenders, and the crucial global partners who desperately need them the most right now. OpenAI framed this highly restricted preview as just a very short-term step, promising that it will eventually put GPT 5.6 back on the right path to much broader availability in the coming weeks. They claim they are actively working with the administration to help quickly develop a brand new executive order framework focused specifically on cybersecurity, as well as a much more repeatable, predictable process as for future major model releases. Despite all the intense drama, OpenAI could not help but brag that GPT 5.6 Sol is absolutely its strongest model yet, boasting massively improved agentic capabilities across coding, complex biology, and advanced cybersecurity. Soul actually introduces a brand new max reasoning effort mode and a mind-bending ultra mode that literally uses highly coordinated subagents to solve incredibly complex tasks. Which is exactly the sort of absolutely neat trick that will totally send your token usage completely skyrocketing. According to their deep internal benchmarks, GPT 5.6 absolutely excels, even proving to be slightly better at complex coding workflows than Anthropic's Claude Mythos 5, which the Trump administration also effectively banned just this month. Plus, OpenAI proudly claims that Soul is fully competitive with the Mythos preview, but magically uses only a third of the output tokens, making it incredibly efficient. To heavily assuage any lingering government fears about its incredibly powerful models being potentially unsafe, OpenAI loudly proclaimed that Sol features its absolute most robust security stack ever designed. They say it is heavily hardened against complex adversarial attacks and intentionally deeply optimized to heavily favor defensive cybersecurity work over teaching anyone offensive exploits. In plain English, it is specifically designed to be incredibly hard to jailbreak, while deeply prioritizing showing users exactly how to defend against nasty exploits, rather than ever showing them how to actually hack into vulnerable systems. Plus, OpenAI also made a massive architectural change, noting that its safety guardrails are now built directly deep into the core model's fundamental behavior, rather than just relying on a clumsy separate filter lazily slapped on top of it. They are very clearly trying to totally avoid the massive trap that completely caught Anthropic with Fable 5. If you remember, in the brief moments when Fable 5 was actually available, whenever the model's basic classifiers detected a high-risk topic like cybersecurity, complex biology, or dangerous chemistry, it would not just block the prompt. Instead, it would weirdly and silently route the entire request to a much older, dumber model. That whole overly cautious flow and totally invisible downrouting led to a massive wave of frustrating false positives and immense user backlash. While these massive GPT 5.6 models are initially available only to a highly select group of heavily vetted partners, OpenAI absolutely plans to make them much more broadly available to everyday people using ChatGPT, Codex, and the API very soon. They also dropped the pricing details. The new models come in 3 sizes with highly tiered pricing. Sol costs $5 per million input tokens and $30 per million output tokens. Terra costs exactly half of that. Plan the lightning-fast Luna model costs just $1 and $6, respectively. Plus, they have massively improved prompt caching to make repeated prompts significantly cheaper and much more predictable for heavy users.